What's up, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Plaid Couch Podcast. This is a very special episode. Today is Election Day if you live in America, and I am here with presidential candidate.
Yep.
I almost said elect. You're not elected yet. Presidential candidate.
Fingers crossed.
Tegan Jones.
Hey, glad to be back. Sorry I missed last week's podcast.
Oh, we had a good guest fill in for you. I wasn't in last week's podcast either. Some think it was me, but it was not.
It's crazy. With just over 20 subscribers, you can get the craziest guest.
Yeah, actually, we didn't even upload that. I think those were our, crazy fans, hacked into our YouTube account.
Nicole, thanks for your help on that upload.
She's Wolfsbane. Sorry, Mom. It's Election Day if you live in the States. And today, as Tegan's self-appointed campaign manager, I surveyed your voters and
all three
also
of them?
and undecided voters.
Oh.
So we could get an insight on why people
All
should
right.
vote for you. And if
Yeah.
you haven't voted yet, you might have some time. So polls are closing here shortly. And I was going to put the live feed on our video, but then I remembered we don't have the budget or the technology to do that. But you can probably Google Tegan Jones election results, and Google will have live updates.
Yep.
So
I'll be towards the top.
yeah, right under Tegan. Are we allowed to talk about him?
God, that piece of shit.
All right. Let's make this a respectful campaign, shall we? Okay.
No. Gloves are off now.
Oh, shit. Okay. So these are all. This is a poll that was put out. So
Okay.
these aren't coming from me. So if you have an issue with any of these questions,
All right.
I'm just the messenger.
I'll shoot you.
And we're going to get a little political this podcast. So if you don't like it,
Fuck you.
yeah, that's what the internet's all about, is stating your political opinions. If people don't agree with you, you be mean to them. Okay. I don't know where I was going with that. All right, question number 1. Are you ready?
Always.
Do you have anything to say before we get started?
Yeah. Nothing related to politics, but I saw a TikTok today.
Was it ours?
No.
Oh, shit. Okay.
It's this guy talking about Pokemon starters.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, if you like this Pokemon starter, this and that. He's like, if you like the fire starter Cinderace, it's because you like Tom Holland, because they look a lot alike. And I looked at that, I went, yeah, I kind of see it now. Jaylene put up those photos.
Oh, no. I can't. I know what Cinderace looks like, but I can't put 2 and 2 together. I'm thinking of the right Pokemon, right?
Yeah, the soccer rabbit.
Oh, I'm not. Okay. I was thinking of
Lopunny.
I don't see it. I'll put the picture up.
Yep.
I was thinking of, and all our Neckbeard fans will get mad at me in the comments. That's fine. I was thinking of Cyndaquil's evolutions. No, I wasn't thinking Cyndaquil, but I was either second or third evolution. What is that? Gen 2?
Yep.
I think Gen 2 is overrated, but we don't have time to get into that. No hot takes today. No pun intended. Question number 1.
Mm-hmm.
I'll stop doing that voice right now.
Number 1.
What is your favorite thing about the United States of America?
You know, my people have been here a long time.
Who are your people again?
Americans.
Okay. That's what you meant.
Gosh. You know, just living in it.
All right. Nothing else to expand on that? Just living in America?
Yep.
All right. Land of the free.
Home of the brave.
All right.
Brave the movie, by the way. That's what I meant.
Is that the one with what's her name? The archery lady?
Yeah.
Okay.
Katniss.
I've never seen that. Get Katniss's name out of your mouth. Not cool enough to talk about her. Number 2. Who will you have performing at your inauguration ceremony?
Burr guy. He's gonna be performing the disses. Just to show I'm a fun president.
Oh,
You know,
okay.
I can take a joke.
You can take a joke.
Yep.
I was about to question that, but that makes sense. You know, you could have any artist do that.
Yeah. I want the original.
Like, you could have Muse there.
Nickelback. They could perform the sea shanty of Rockstar.
You should get an instrumental band like Muse. Next question. Besides your inauguration ceremony, what is the first social event you plan on hosting at the White House?
Storming the Capitol.
Ooh.
2. Electric Boogaloo.
Next question. I'm not even going to respond to that. Do you plan on making any changes to our Constitution while in office?
All of them.
To what?
Women, get them out of here.
Just they can't be in the country at all?
Nope.
So we're not going to reproduce
Boys
anymore?
only club.
Okay. It's like the Barbie movie.
Yeah. We're going to have a lot of horses. Restore the patriarchy. No better time.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Which, if any, national holiday will you get rid of and why? Because you will have the power to do that.
Valentine's Day, because I'm lonely.
That might come up later in these questions.
Uh-oh.
Do you plan on changing the current people on our country's currency? If so, who?
Well, I'm obviously going on the Hundy. Burguy can have the 50.
Right? Important enough to be on money?
Jaylene, I'll give you the 20.
I think I'm a better choice than the current guy on the 20.
Lincoln can stay on the 5. Mm-hmm. And then Lincoln's head afterwards can be on the $1 bill.
Are you going to put Matthew on any money?
He can be on the 50-cent piece.
But what about JFK?
JFK can go to the nickel.
What about Jefferson? He's already in the $2 bill, if you're right. That's a good plan. What country are you going to declare to be the United States' #1 ally, and which country will become our sworn enemy?
Obviously, that garbage country, Puerto Rico, will be our number 1 ally.
Okay. And our sworn enemy?
That landfill.
I was worried where you were going with that, but okay.
And obviously, Canada. Can't trust them.
Honestly,
yeah. We're storming.
Yeah, get rid of them.
Yep.
Canadians in America.
That's the border we need to protect.
Yeah, leave Mexico alone. Actually, that one's fine. Let's start securing the Canada border. I'm tired of these loonies and these toonies in my country.
I want armed officers on the border at all times.
Throughout the whole
any
border.
movement, you have the right to fire.
Jesus Christ. Alrighty, moving right along. What will you be doing to improve the public schools in our country?
Well, see, 2 of my siblings are, well, one's a teacher, one's a director at a school, so obviously I'd abolish public schools.
Okay.
Make sure they're homeless.
That's fair.
Yep. Unemployed.
Well, you have plenty of rooms in the White House. They could stay with you, right?
I'm busy. Yes.
They can rent this house from you. So you're just going to take away their jobs and then fuck them?
Well, they're my brothers, Jaylene.
I meant like, they're fucked. No, you're going to. Never mind. Sorry. Cross the line. My bad. Next question.
This is a wholesome podcast.
Yeah, we've had Burguy on this podcast. The last podcast Burguy was on, I had to bleep him 5 times.
Only 5?
Only 5. Next question. What YouTuber would you want to serve with you as a member of your cabinet?
Ooh, that's a good one.
Who's all on your cabinet so far? Burguy and Joey Chestnut.
And Jim Schwartz.
Okay.
The defensive coordinator for the Browns.
That makes sense, yeah.
That's a good one.
Mr. Beast?
He
has no controversy.
We could talk about him a little bit later. There's a lot more that just came out.
Well, yeah, because that clout-chasing goblin's after him.
You know what? Markiplier seems like a wholesome guy, and he's kind of at that point in his YouTube career where he's like, I'll release when I release.
I wasn't expecting an actual good pick, but that is a good pick. I'd actually rather he be president than you.
You know what? Fair.
Yeah.
Us Ohio boys gotta...
Is he from Ohio?
I believe so.
Huh, the more you know. We should invite him on the podcast.
Markiplier, you're...
Invited anytime.
Yep.
We should have him on, but not have Matthew on that episode.
Have him and Jacksepticeye.
Matthew's busy that day, actually.
Yep.
Oh, also, I was going to mention earlier that Matthew and Tegan were supposed to... Matthew and Tegan, you're Tegan. Matthew and Burgai were supposed to be on this podcast, but we made them take a U.S. history test, and they both failed, so they didn't make the cut for this episode. That's why they're not here, because they're dumb as rocks.
Foreigners.
And actually, when you get elected as president, we're going to deport Matthew to Canada. And then he can't get passed, because you're going to put the border police up. Which past president's portrait will you hang in the Oval Office for inspiration throughout your presidential term?
Ulysses S. Grant. He doesn't get enough credit.
All right, we brought him up on the podcast before. So, what do you like about him specifically?
General in the Civil War, on the winning side.
All right, fair enough.
I like winners.
Fair enough. Some could argue that every president was a winner. Do you agree with that statement? That's not a question, that's just...
I mean, not all fought in wars, so...
But, like, they won something.
Unless you talk about rigged elections, then...
Well...
Yeah.
Ooh, shoot.
Let's get in that topic.
Nah, we're not going to get that political. Which Disney Channel star will get a brand new TV series after you hire their dad to become the new White House chef?
Oh, jeez.
You can't pick Corey Baxter because we already have Corey in the house.
You know what? Just because I want them in my White House cabinet because they're like a super genius. What is her name?
Bridget Medler.
Yes.
From Good Luck Charlie.
Yes. She's like a super genius scientist now, and it's like...
She like owns a company.
Yeah.
I don't know what it does.
A science company. That's all I know.
Yeah, get her in there. She's got her doctorate. She's Dr. Bridget Medler.
She's in my cabinet.
I would pick one of the Sprouse twins. Probably not Cody. Or his name's Cole. Probably not Cole. I'd probably pick Dylan. I'm not running, but I just...
Is it crazy how much, like, Cole has become, like, the artsy douchebag?
It's because he played Jughead Jones for, like, a decade.
No relation.
There's something about the Sprouse boys that I'll always just care about to some extent.
Well, it's because you're related.
Was that a podcast we talked about it? Alrighty.
All right, we're back.
Sorry if you missed our conversation about the Sprouse twins. But they are my cousins, actually. I didn't just make that up. Right? You met them.
Yeah.
Okay. If we get good at lying now, it'll help you when you become president.
I mean, I'm a professional gaslighter.
Okay. Our camera died, by the way, but we're back now. And if it dies again, I'm going home. Next question. What will you be doing to work on the current wage gap between men and women in this country?
I think the divide needs to be bigger. I know Burgai agrees with me greatly. He's actually the one who suggested the plan.
Isn't he supposed to just be working on, like, transportation as a part of your cabinet?
You know what? We're a cohesive unit. We take ideas from everyone. So, yeah, what is it, like 66%? Let's bump that down to 50. And you know what? All that extra money will go towards getting us out of debt.
Oh, I thought you were going to put it towards the Canada border.
Canada's paying for that.
That's
all right.
right. Yeah, that's right. Sorry. Dumb question. I guess that's why you're paying me 50% less. Sorry. What exciting new feature do you plan on adding to the White House?
The White House 2. Just like in the SpongeBob SquarePants movie.
I knew that's where you're going with this.
It will look just like the White House, only have a number 2.
And what inspired you to make the White House
Money.
2? Who do you think should get paid more in America? The president, doctors and nurses who are saving lives, or NFL quarterbacks?
Doctors and nurses. Yeah.
Why?
Because they're saving lives.
So you don't think the quarterback should make the most money?
No.
You don't think you should get paid the most money?
No.
Oh, okay. Speaking of NFL quarterbacks, who do you think is hotter, Joe Burrow or Josh Allen?
I saw something about Joe Burrow the other day that he looks like someone. I'm trying to remember who. And it was the funniest shit ever.
Was it Macaulay Culkin?
Yes.
Because that's what Macaulay dressed up for Halloween this year, was Joe Burrow.
And I saw that. I was like, yeah, I kind of see it.
No. No.
I'd say Josh Allen. I know.
Come on. It's because he's a freaky white dude and Joe Burrow's not as freaky.
Get freaky down in the comments.
No, not on this video. Not on this one. During your campaign tour, because you did do a campaign tour,
Yep.
correct? What was the best state you visited and why?
Ohio.
How did I know you were going to say that?
We're the heart of America.
All right. You technically didn't visit Ohio.
Yes.
Like, you live in Ohio.
I visited my parents.
Okay. As part of the campaign tour.
Yep. I was like, we got to do a photo op.
And they're like, we're not voting for you, actually.
Come on.
Also, in regards to your campaign tour, what was the worst state you visited, and how can we work together as a country to improve it?
Indiana.
Honestly, that's probably true.
I think the states surrounding Indiana should all just like absorb it
Like
into equal
all the
parts.
other states become bigger. And
Yep.
then there's no Indiana. I actually am fine with that. So
Yeah, I mean it's just lesser Ohio.
yeah. Because we don't have enough of nothing going on in Ohio as is. We need more nothing.
Exactly.
Just take that part of Indiana.
Fort Wayne.
Oh, yeah, we
you're-
would get Fort Wayne.
You're now under Ohio's jurisdiction.
I'll take Fort Wayne because I'd rather go to Fort Wayne than Toledo anymore.
We'll hold a draft. That map will look scuffed as fuck.
You have to like now cross through like Kentucky to get to another part of Ohio because Kentucky like claimed a piece of northern Indiana. Do they border Indiana, Kentucky at all? Or they just border us? They have to.
There may be like a lip of it.
Yeah. Whatever. I'm not dumb. I lost my spot. It's not because I'm dumb. Okay. What political figure / world leader are you most excited to work with after you are elected? So this could be like an American politician or like somebody from the other countries.
Ben Franklin.
No, they have to be alive.
Shit. Alexander Hamilton.
Ah, they have to be alive.
I just saw his musical.
Can you please take this
It
seriously?
felt so real.
Can you please take this seriously?
So what political figure?
Or world leader.
Who runs Australia?
I have no idea.
Probably the Irwins.
Probably like some kangaroo or something.
The Emus.
I think Steve Irwin used to, and then he died. So now it's probably somebody else.
Can I say that was probably one of the saddest deaths of my life?
Yeah, that was up there for me too. I was obsessed with Crocodile Hunter when I was a kid.
10-year-old Tegan was hurt that day.
Dude, same.
Probably for that whole month. It was not the
Should
same.
take the month off.
Yeah.
Were you? This isn't part of this, but now you got me thinking. Were you more upset when Tom Petty died or when Steve Irwin died?
Steve Irwin. Tom Petty was one where it was more confusing because they're like, Tom Petty has died.
Oh, I forgot he
And
died, and then it was
he's-
like, no, he didn't.
He's not dead. It's like, oh, okay. And then like a few hours later, it's like, no, he is dead. So it was like, oh.
He was also old.
Yeah.
You know, he got to live a whole
It's
life.
like Stanley. That one hurt too. But I was like,
Oh, okay. I was like, Flat Stanley. It's the first Stanley I thought of. Sorry.
but I was like, he was old.
Yeah. Yeah. I keep losing my place, so now I'm just asking you
Quit
things to
scrolling
distract
on
me.
your phone.
I'm just going through Instagram, okay?
Oh.
It's fine. Did you answer? Are you going to pick
Yeah.
whoever runs Australia?
Mm-hmm.
It'll be a surprise. If you
Some dictator.
if you had to predict, will you get better or worse at golf during your presidential term?
Well, I suck at golf now, so I think I'll suck less.
But you won't be good still. Okay. That's fair. Probably what I think is the most important question on this list. What Schoolhouse Rock song would you think I'm sorry, I typed this very badly at 2 a.m. last night. What Schoolhouse Rock song would be the best fit to become the new national anthem of the United States?
I was thinking School of Rock.
That's a good movie.
Underrated movie, honestly.
So you got I'm Just a Bill. You've got the Constitution song. You've got the one about the 19th Amendment.
I was going to say, all I know is the I'm Just a Bill song.
I'm going to pick like a very generic pick. There's Shot Heard Around the World.
Oh, that one.
That one actually kind of goes. And then you could pick like a Conjunction Junction.
Our curveball here, ignore all those picks and go with Where There's a Whip, There's a Way from the Lord of the Rings animated movie from the 70s.
Please don't pick that.
Bum, 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 bum.
I don't think I know that song.
No, we've played it before the podcast several times.
I don't remember that. I blocked it out.
Jaylene, put it up on the podcast.
I'll put the clip in, so now I have to refer to it. Okay. Next question. Mm-hmm. Would you rather have dinner with Hillary Clinton or Hillary Duff?
Duff.
Why? You can say it's because she's hot, because she's aged beautifully.
She has, but no, it's just I know our conversations won't be leaked via email, so.
That's fair. And plus, Hillary Clinton will probably just be playing Pokemon Go the whole time. I've heard she loves Pokemon Go, actually.
And where Hillary is, Bill's probably not far behind, and
they don't spend time together.
It'd be for a photo op, so Bill would be like in the corner.
She's not gonna.
Or maybe we're at a jazz club where Bill's playing.
Oh shit.
I like how I'm on first name terms with.
Yeah, it's like me and Hillary. We're gonna go see Bill. He's playing sax tonight. I would also choose Hillary Duff because I fucking love Lizzie McGuire. And her first album is really good too. Metamorphosis. You got Come Clean. You've got a So Yesterday. And then there's that other one off that album that I like, and I can't remember the name of. But Come Clean.
Where there's a whip, there's a way.
Yeah, actually, I think that's it. All right, shout out Hillary Duff. You're welcome on the show anytime. Who has been your stylist throughout this campaign? And please tell me that you fired them for their poor quality of work.
Can you fire yourself?
Maybe you should.
Let's see. My fashion is the bargain bin.
Same, actually.
Whatever is on clearance. And I rotate between flannel, sweaters, t-shirts, and that's about it.
I like how you shop in the bargain bin, but how much did you spend on that hat? That's where your wardrobe budget went. It's
Next question.
That hat.
Next question.
Okay, sorry. What prior job experience has prepared you the most for your future presidential term?
Jaylene, I don't know if you know this. I used to be a blue-collar worker. And I know what my fellow Americans are going through every day on the line in the factories. So obviously I can get in that mindset to make lives better for the middle and lower class people.
Yeah, but have you ever worked at McDonald's?
I need
because I don't know if you saw, but the other two candidates have.
I need to stage an event where we close a McDonald's down. And I pretend like I'm working there. Oh,
I'm glad we both read that news story. We're talking about Kamala, by the way. She didn't actually work there.
Has Tegan worked at a McDonald's before?
I don't think Tegan's worked anywhere.
I think he just appears.
He gave me his resume, and it was just a napkin with his phone number on it. And then I called it, and it was out of service. Next question. Eels or escalators?
Escalators, escalators, escalators.
Eels. All right. Do you think that the fact that you're embarrassingly single and would be serving without a first lady will hurt your chances at the polls?
No, because then I can put on my Bumble profile that I'm looking for a first lady.
That's actually pretty smart. You could probably be on Raya if you're the president.
Is that the
Like the one for celebrities. Yeah. I couldn't think of the name of it like 5 podcasts ago. But
watching my application get denied?
not famous enough.
What?
I know somebody who's on Raya, by the way. Fun fact. Like
Me?
somebody like that I know personally has a
Oh.
Raya account.
What the heck?
Isn't that crazy?
Put in a good word for me.
Do you want to start dating dudes?
No, tell them to put in a good word for
Oh.
me so I can get a Raya account.
I'm not gonna do that. I thought like so they would date you.
No.
That's like, oh, sorry.
If they know you, I don't want to date them.
So you wouldn't date any. This isn't on the list. You wouldn't date anybody that knows me.
Nope.
Like you meet this girl, she's perfect for you. You guys have been going out for a while, and it's like, oh, you should meet my friends, and then you bring her to introduce her to me, and we already know each other. Are you gonna break up with her on the spot?
Yep.
Yeah. Good to know. I'll tell all my friends not to date you.
Good.
So the answer to that question is yes, that will hurt your chances at the polls.
I think it will help because the single female voters will then try to become
That's no.
first lady.
That's not how women vote. Actually, we're not trying to see like who's the most available guy. Believe it or not. At least that's not how I vote. I can't speak on all women, but never voted that way. Next question. What's your favorite Pokemon? It's the most important question here.
It is.
I think it was the most asked also.
Ooh. Just overall favorite
Overall,
Pokemon.
yeah. I'd say probably don't pick a legendary because that seems like a cheat code.
Yeah. And you know what? I won't pick a starter either because that's kind of a
Oh, okay.
lame one.
That's just the kind of guy you are.
Yep. You know, I like picking the Pokemon for the people. I do like Mimikyu. That's a interesting one. This is a poll. Girafarig.
I knew you were gonna say that. I typed this question and I knew you were gonna say it.
Because I've said that before because
I was hoping your answer would have changed, but that's okay. That's fine.
I don't know why that Pokemon is like holds such a because
what
I
gen
never
is that?
2. I've never played Gen 2, but like collecting Pokemon cards and stuff as a kid.
I didn't think that was Gen 2. That seemed newer to me in my brain because I'd have guessed like 4 or 5.
Nope.
But I don't know. I'm just a girl. I don't play Pokemon.
The evolution just came out, so maybe that's why.
Oh, I don't know. I actually don't play video
For
games.
Farigiraf.
Why is your Secretary of Transportation so obsessed with trains? Don't you think that's a little
Autism.
weird? Oh,
Am I allowed to say that?
sure. I'll keep it in.
He's got the tism.
And don't you think it's a little weird?
People can have hobbies and whatever the fuck they want. It's a free country, Jaylene.
Not when you're president.
We'll see.
Next question. 2 questions left. What inspired you to run for president?
Because I'm a white man, and we haven't had enough white men as presidents yet.
Only what, like 45? Right? Can I count?
Isn't it? Yeah. I don't know. Put the actual number up and then impose our voices to where we say the correct amount.
I was just going to Google it real quick, but I guess I'll be unprofessional. I think it's 45 because we're at 46, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or is Biden 47? I'm asking.
No, Biden is 45, I think.
Oh, am I? Joe Biden's 46th president.
Okay.
So we've had 45 white men presidents.
Not enough.
Yeah, so what's one more?
Exactly.
And last question here. If Tegan wins this election instead of you, what words of advice do you have for our future president?
Can I say... Can you bleep that out so it's funnier?
Oh my God, I can't believe you just said that.
And that's from the heart, too.
Oh, shit. Do you think he'll actually, like, even if he gets elected, do you think he'll show up?
Who know? He'll just be in the White House, but no one will know where he's at.
He's here somewhere.
I hear him pitter-pattering around.
He'll, like, just be signing away laws, but nobody knows like where they're coming from.
It's like someone will be in the room scanning, looking for him, and then he'll turn around and it's signed.
Oh, why? He'll probably be in like Lincoln's. What is it? Lincoln's room that you're not allowed. Like nobody's allowed in.
I think.
Yeah, I don't know if it's a bedroom or just like a room devoted to him.
But when White House 2 comes along,
And then
anyone's allowed in that room.
Are you gonna like make that your primary residence, White House 2, or is that gonna be like the tourist trap, White House 2?
That will be the tourist trap. And then every now and again, people will be like, you know, the president comes in here and says hi to people.
Oh, shit.
It's like, that could be this tour. Pay $50.
Maybe it's like, you know, like Disney does a random like raffle. It's like they pick one random person to stay at the castle suite.
No.
It's like one random person who tours the White House that day gets a chance to spend the night with you. You might become the first lady if you go on the White House tour. You'll be randomly selected. Be Tegan's new bride.
How funny would that be? Someone gets selected and I just go, no.
I actually don't want that one.
No.
Or if it's like, if it is truly random, it's like some 7-year-old boy.
Hey, you stay on that side of the room, pal.
It's like, no, we're just actually like gonna go play catch. Could happen.
Could.
Yeah. I think this is really gonna help your chances.
Yeah.
So if you haven't voted yet,
You got like 20 minutes?
Yeah. When do the polls close? Actually.
I want to say like 6.
Yeah. It's later in the evening. So.
Uh-oh. Gizmo's locking himself out.
Oh no, poor Glizzy. It is. I had another question on here, and I think I deleted it. I just remembered that.
Oh no.
Oh no, it's on here. I just skipped it. I don't know why I just saw this. One more question just came in on the wire here. Very important.
Beep, 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 beep.
If you get elected as president, what will happen to Plaid Couch?
We'll move studios to DC.
Are we going to be in the White House 1 or the White House 2?
That's for us to know and the fans to find out.
So if you come visit White House 2, you might see one of us. That would be fun for like, we could start doing vlogs, like White House vlogs.
Yeah. Have the one buff chef who I see on like TikTok, and you haven't seen him before?
Like, buff chef.
Dude, he's like
On
jacked.
TikTok or like in the White House?
He was a White House chef.
Oh shit, okay.
Like for a few presidents, and he was in the military, and then he's like really ripped.
God damn.
That's who I'm hiring him back if
coming back.
he's not in the White House.
You should also
still.
have Jeremy Allen White be a chef for you at the White House.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if he actually knows how to cook.
I,
He has to know a little bit.
I was gonna say
from playing
he
that role.
looks like someone who would go a little method,
Yeah.
not full method, but
Not like
Jared
help me.
Leto,
no.
Daniel Day-Lewis,
Elvis, who played Elvis.
Austin Butler.
Yeah. He was good in Dune though. I don't know if he went method for Dune. It'd probably scare if he did.
He just sat on a dune.
Well, do you know who he played in Dune? He was one of the big fat people, bald people. And then he like killed people and ate them. This is like Jeffrey Dahmer of Dune. You know who else is a good actor? I just thought of Jeffrey Dahmer. Not he was a good actor. The Jeffrey Dahmer show that was on Netflix.
Yeah.
Evan Peters
Yeah.
is such a good actor. I think he's underrated.
I watched some of the Dahmer like Netflix.
It's hard
series.
to watch.
I just got angry because it was like, how many times was he supposed to get caught? And it was just like, oh no, he's a white guy.
Yeah, he's a white dude. Like there's no way
Yeah.
that he's an issue. It's
White guy in
crazy.
a black neighborhood. He's not the issue.
Yeah. Well, and a lot of it, and I don't want to like get into this too much on the podcast, but hey, you brought it up.
Yep.
But a lot of it was because he was like so involved with the gay community.
Yeah.
And like at the time that was so taboo still.
Yep.
And people were like, we don't want to get into those affairs because it's a bunch of gay dudes.
Come here.
Are you scared of the tables?
I think he wants to squeeze by, but you may think that's a wall. Come here, bud. Good boy. Hey, bud.
But yeah, Dahmer show was good.
Yeah, it was one of those.
But it was
very
almost
well
too good.
done, but it was very frustrating to sit down and watch.
You know what movie I just rewatched recently? Fault in Our Stars.
Did I tell you? Because I didn't watch that till Berga and I moved in together freshman year because we would have movie nights.
Yeah.
Just so I could show Berga what movies were.
Thank you for doing that,
yep.
because then he showed me, and now we have, I wouldn't say good movie taste, but we can recognize a bad movie.
Yep.
Some people can't do that.
Looking at you, Matthew.
Yeah. What do you have to say, Matthew?
Oculus.
I'm going to interrupt you again. We'll go back to Fault in Our Stars. But what was it? 2 podcasts ago, Matthew was trying to think of a movie, and he just goes, "Have I seen a good movie?" And we're all like, "No, actually, probably not."
But I didn't know a whole lot about Fault in Our Stars. And I thought...
You didn't read the book?
No, I don't know how to read.
Oh, that's right. Sorry. I didn't mean to bring that up.
But I thought I heard someone talking about like how it ends. So I was talking to him. I was like, so is the ending really the guy dies, but he donates his lungs to the girl so she can breathe again? He's like, no, but that's really fucking sad.
Yeah, no, that's not how it ends.
Yeah. I was like, I don't know why I thought that. But
I was under the assumption that like he had a lot of issues, so I don't think his lungs probably would have been good anyway, because he didn't have lung cancer.
It's a metaphor, though. Is that his line?
Yeah, with the cigarette.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
He had imaginary lung cancer from all those imaginary cigarettes.
Well, they were real cigarettes. He just didn't light them. So, if I saw a guy do that, like if I was with a guy and he just had cigarettes that he carried around, and sometimes
you'd be like, he's the coolest guy ever.
Even if he was dying, I'd be like, nah, this lighted. Don't be a bitch.
You're dying anyway.
Yeah, have a cigarette. Come on.
Puff, puff, pass, dude.
Yeah, give me one of those. But yeah, did you ever watch Paper Towns?
Nope.
Not as good. I liked it just because I like Now Wolf, and I can never say her name, but that Cara D.
Oh,
how do you say her name? You know what I'm talking about.
She was Enchantress in Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
Cara, like...
We're too white to pronounce it without fucking it up. Well, I like her in some things. But, yeah, that movie was, I don't know, it was fine, I thought. The Fault in Our Stars was better. I wish they would make a Looking for Alaska movie, because that's my favorite John Green book.
It's right by Canada.
Thanks. Soon I won't be able to go. Will we only be able to fly to Canada if we close off the border? Or to Alaska? You can't drive through Canada. Or are we gonna build
we're
a
gonna
bridge?
invade that part of Canada.
We're gonna claim that.
Yep.
It'll be a new state?
Possibly.
What would you call it?
Indiana.
Oh, that makes sense, because then we could still be at 50. So we'll all claim Indiana, and then we'll make that Indiana. Indiana 2.
No, it'll just be Indiana because the original Indiana is getting absorbed.
Yeah, but we should pay homage to the original Indiana, don't you
New
think?
Indiana.
I'm okay with that. It's like how there's New Mexico.
Mm-hmm. Right next to Mexico. All right. So, off the politic questions now. You and I do 98% of the work for Plaid Couch.
I would say so.
Yeah.
Are we counting Burguy's snarky remarks and Matthew's poetry as the other 2%?
Yep.
Okay, that's fair, yeah.
And we've done this for what? Almost... Well, this video would be like 9 months now, wouldn't it? What has been the hardest part of Plaid Couch in your mind?
Making thumbnails. I hate making thumbnails. Podcast ones aren't so bad anymore, but I dread doing a thumbnail, man.
See, mine was gonna be on like a more personal note of just like finding that balance of trying to...
Oh, yeah, no, I'm just thinking, like, I don't like doing thumbnails. I would say the balance is pretty difficult.
Yeah. Especially since I edit 2 videos a week, you edit videos and then our TikToks now.
Yeah.
Sometimes you'll take an additional video for the week, uh, but mainly it's the podcast and all that, which I'm thankful for.
I think it kind of evens out
Yeah.
now that I'm doing the short form content, because it's like, yeah, you have more videos to do, but I get the big long one every week.
Yeah.
So I think it.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
evens out for sure. Every now and again we have a gameplay that runs long.
Yeah.
And sometimes I'm like, oh, we only need about 20 minutes. We can make this easy on me. And everyone's like, one more round.
It'd be like Trivia Murder Party when we
Yeah.
did that, but then we all died anyway.
Yeah,
So it's like,
exactly.
well, there you go, Tegan.
Exactly.
The game was on your side.
Um,
Yeah, I think, but the more we do it, the easier it gets.
Yeah.
It used to take me a lot longer to do the podcast. Some days it still takes a while if my software doesn't want to work properly, but
even when we did one video a week when we started, the Reddits took me that whole week. I mean, well, we recorded the first ones in January, and it was just trying to figure out the editing software, and that took me so long just to get comfortable with knowing what was where. But now I think we have a good system because when you first started editing, I want to make sure I was available if you had
Yeah.
questions.
You mean the first time I edited it and I called you on Discord crying because the editing software made me so mad? If we're getting behind the scenes,
Yeah.
I'm getting behind the
Yeah.
scenes. Yeah, I cried the first time I edited a video. I didn't even finish that video because...
Yeah, because, gosh, I want to say within a month or two, I kind of gave you and Matthew both Reddit stories that
Yeah.
we filmed but weren't planning on releasing, just so you guys could figure out the software.
Yeah.
Which maybe I'll send Matthew some more stuff just to keep practicing.
Yeah.
But I mean, most of the stuff we film now is just like we're on a tighter schedule now.
Well, and it's like the holidays are coming
Yep.
up, so we're going to get busier.
Exactly.
Like, one of the things was like you planning a Halloween party.
Oh
And
yeah.
it's like that's a whole weekend we're not going to film now, pretty much.
Maybe we can do it the day before, or have you guys come over before the party and just
We'll be in costume. But yeah, definitely just keeping a balance. And,
yeah.
like today, it's like, when you have nobody available to film, and it's like we're trying to get ahead before we get bum rushed with things going on.
Yeah, it's also finding that balance of staying ahead but not getting too far ahead.
Yeah, because we want to be relevant. Which we got to talk about the Mr. Beast stuff. I just
Yes.
thought about that. We'll talk about Mr. Beast, I promise.
Yep, that's how we'll end this. Another thing I want to talk about. What do you think has become something you've started doing in videos that you didn't do, like, at the start? Like, mine, I want to say it was 10 or 20 videos before I started doing the Bye Everybody.
Oh, yeah.
But what's funny about that was we had some of the Ask Me Anythings filmed beforehand because, again, figuring out that editing software, those took me a long time to edit. So we'd have videos where I'd start doing the Bye Everybody, and then the Ask Me Anythings would come out where it's just like, all right, see ya. Get out of here.
What the fuck are you still doing here? Go.
So,
I don't know. I think I'm better at intros now.
Yeah.
I used to really stumble over an intro.
I think that's all of us, though, because those first videos, I mean, we've talked about that first one where once the camera was there, we were like, oh, fuck.
Yeah, it's like I actually haven't met these people ever in my life.
And you know what? We've talked about that as well, where, like, watching some of the older videos, it's like, that...
You get a little bit of cringe.
It's a little rough around the edges,
Yeah.
but,
I'm sure we'll watch this in a year and be
Yeah.
like, that's fucking stupid. Why did we do
Yeah.
that podcast? But hey, you gotta do something.
And
I think a piece of homework that I gave you guys was like pick your favorite YouTuber and watch their oldest video, because that really helped me get out of my comfort zone.
Yes, for anyone looking to get into YouTube.
Don't do it with Smosh, because they were funny right out the gate, but any other YouTube channel.
I don't know. Have you watched some of their like old skits?
Some of the old sketches, yeah. But it's like you watch like the first music videos; those are pretty funny.
But yeah, it's all about learning and evolving with what you have. I mean, we're no big budget business right now. We're on a very tight budget.
Weren't we just talking about how we need more mic stands, but you have to pay for insurance, and I just bought propane. Yeah. So it's like, well. So if anybody wants to donate mic stands, our Amazon storefront's going to be linked below. No.
And we're pushing, I want to say, by December we'll have 100 videos.
We're at like 83 right now. At time of filming.
Yeah.
I'm going to date this a little bit, but.
We're around the mid 80s right now.
So yeah, we should have 100 by December.
Yeah.
At least by January.
Yeah, because I'm not counting the Welcome to Plaid Couch video that was unlisted, and we've talked about that before. It's not because it's embarrassing or cringe. It served its purpose, so we don't need it anymore. We've had a lot of different one-offs, different series. What has been one that's exceeded your expectations, and what's one that was kind of underwhelming to start?
I think, I don't want you to take this the wrong way.
No.
Ranked was one where that first video came out, and I was like, I don't know about this one. But the last two that have come out, the Marvel and DC one, and then I love the horror movies one.
Yeah.
Like Would We Survive? Those ones I like. But we did that first one, and you had even said that you would cut it down.
Yeah.
And I was watching it, and I was like, it's good, but I don't know about this. But then I watched the next two. I was like, okay, like I like this. It just took me a while to adjust to it. But that one initially, I was like, I don't know about Ranked.
Yeah.
But I think that it needs to be longer content.
Yeah. And, a lot of these video ideas are trial and error. It's trying to cut out some of the fluff, but also keeping a lot of the charm it has. Like, you and I were talking before the podcast. I try to keep the Ask Me Anythings between 8 to 10 minutes. Yeah. But sometimes there are some funny answers, especially with this last Fire Emblem one. But one of the answers was a good 5 to 8 minutes alone. So it's like, I would love to have that in there, but that would be the whole episode.
Yeah. I will say, I knew I was going to like Mario Party League just because, like, that's something that we did even before we did Plaid Couch. Yeah. Was we had a Mario Party League. But those videos are so funny. I definitely revisit those the most. Yeah. And one of my favorite things to do every time a new one comes out is to add to the Spotify playlist. Yeah. Which, if you didn't know, if you watch MPL, we have a Spotify playlist of all the songs that we sing during MPL. Baby Shark is on there.
Is Ram Ranch on there yet?
No. I could not put that long of a song on there. So, sorry.
Get in the comments.
Yeah, if enough comments ask for it, I'll add it.
I'll start making burner accounts just.
But.
Justice for Ram Ranch.
Yeah, MPL is probably my favorite series that we do.
That one is good, but
it's one that it's like you'll send the thumbnail for it, so I know it's coming, and it's like, oh, I'm so excited for MPL. Which
I recently updated the first two just to have it cohesive with the series. Which I think they look really good. I updated some of the Ask Me Anythings as well, so those look more cohesive.
I keep saying I'm going to update the Topster thumbnail because it looks really, 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 really bad. I hate doing thumbnails. But then every time I go to do it, it's like, I know it's just going to piss me off, so I just haven't done it yet.
I was actually on YouTube earlier, and it got to the homepage, and the Star Wars Ask Me Anything was on the homepage for me. And I was like, oh, that video looks interesting. Oh, that's...
That's us. I've been watching a lot of, like, smaller channels.
So have I.
Just to see, like, what other people are doing. So now I get, like, I'll get videos recommended to me. And
it's like
and they'll have,
views.
like, 20 views.
Yeah.
But I'll watch them because it's like, hey, It's not like I'm trying to like. It's not like I'm counting like check out our channel, but it's like it's just interesting to.
One
see.
of my new favorite creators. I mean, he's in the thousands of subscribers, but on the scale, he's still. But he does like monster movie flick reviews, but has a comedic twist on them, and he's been one I've really enjoyed watching.
There's one that I found, and I don't remember the channel name. I'm so sorry, but you did a video about like why Scott Pilgrim vs. the World is the best movie ever made, and I watched it, and it was a good video. And I watched a few of his other stuff. If I find him, I'll link him down below because I feel bad.
Yeah, I'll send you the guy I've been watching just to give them credit.
But I will say, I was like, it was a good video, and he had good points. I don't know about like the best movie ever made. Like Fight Club exists. I keep talking about Fight Club. Fault in Our Stars, man.
Jurassic Park 3, man.
Star Wars Episode 9.
I still have not seen it yet.
What would it take for us to like get you to watch that movie?
I mean, nothing really. Just the
You
Star
just
Wars.
haven't, like, come around to it yet?
Yeah, it's just one of those. It's like I know I'm not gonna like it, but I feel obligated. I need to watch it because it is Star Wars.
It's so bad. Here's my thing, and I know we talked about Star Wars before, but I'm going to talk about Star Wars again.
Yeah.
But I consider myself a casual Star Wars fan because I don't get into it like some of the people we know. I just kind of enjoy the movies. And you and I are both defenders of Episode 7. Or Episode 8. Sorry.
Yeah.
We both like that movie. Like, I walked out of that movie, and people were like, that's the worst Star Wars movie. It's like, I liked it.
I was going to say, there were some moments where I was like, if they did this differently, it would have been a lot better of a movie, but I still enjoyed it because it was that left turn that I felt was so needed.
And I felt like it really made sense for the characters, too. Like, it's like, okay, this seems like it's falling into place. So I'm not, like, one of those people who just hates the new trilogy. I can enjoy Episode 7.
Yep.
It's not my favorite. I like Episode 8. I'll state that right here now. I like Episode 8, The Last Jedi. Is that what it's called?
Yep.
It's a good movie. But when I watched Episode 9, I didn't want to be one of those people who's just a hater.
Yeah.
But I'm like, it's so fucking dumb. And then my first time doing a full Star Wars rewatch after seeing Episode 9 in theaters, I couldn't finish it. I got halfway through, and I was like, actually, fuck this movie. It just... It doesn't feel... It feels like a fan-made Star Wars movie.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it looks like a Star Wars movie, but it's like, who the fuck approved the script?
It feels like it was written by someone for their fan fiction.
Yeah, and it's like, it feels like it was written by somebody who didn't like Episode 8, which essentially it was.
Yeah.
But it's like, why didn't we sort this out
Before,
when we were making Episode 7?
Exactly. They should have had points A through Z figured out before.
Like, it's sad when I can sit through Attack of the Clones and I can't sit through fucking the last Skywalker or the Rise of Skywalker or whatever. And sorry, spoiler alert, you haven't seen the movie. She's not a fucking Skywalker. I get the sentiment, but it's like, whatever.
Yeah.
Fuck that movie, actually. I'm getting all pissy about it. Watch Fight Club instead. Do your regular Star Wars rewatch, and then after you watch Episode 8, watch Fight Club instead.
When you do a Star Wars rewatch,
Episode 1.
You start with Episode 1 and you go through the timeline.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I just watch like the OG trilogy.
Yeah.
I don't watch like Solo and Rogue One and all those.
See, I feel like that's how I'll eventually get to Episode 9 is just doing a watch through of all of them.
And it's such a letdown.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's going to be the last one.
Yeah, it sucks. You know what's a good movie? And I think I heard about this on a video too. Or maybe it wasn't a video. I don't know. But on Disney Plus, it's the Lego Star Wars Christmas special. And I just put it on last year just to have something on while I was wrapping presents. It was a good, fun movie. So if you need a Christmas movie to watch this year with the family, the Lego Star Wars Christmas special, honestly, watch that instead of Episode 9, actually.
And then after that, watch Ewoks.
I would probably watch an episode of Ewoks before I'd watch Episode 9 again. I can't watch Episode 9.
Would you watch the whole series of
No.
Ewoks?
No, I don't think so.
Not a true fan.
But, yeah, I promise I'm not a Star Wars fan. I'm just getting heated thinking about that. But it's also getting that time of year that I do. Usually when it gets colder out, I do like a Marvel rewatch, and then I'll do a I almost said an Avengers rewatch, and I'll do a Star Wars rewatch.
You'll watch all of the Marvel films and then rewatch the Avenger films.
Sometimes I'll do that if I'm in a Marvel mood and I don't want to watch the whole thing.
Yeah.
I'll just like watch the Avengers movies plus Civil War, and it's just a quick little rewatch. It kind of does the same thing. But also, I saw a Agatha, like the Agatha show. I saw a spoiler for that on the fucking Marvel Instagram page. They posted the spoiler. I'm like, the show's not like. I get that I should have probably watched it by now, but the show's not that old yet.
Yeah.
So it's like, well, I was probably gonna watch it. I'm not gonna watch it now. I already know like the big plot turn or whatever. So I don't know. Maybe that's not a big part of the plot, but I thought it was kind of a big deal.
It was all a dream.
Probably, maybe. Marvel's so fucking stupid anymore. I'm getting heated. I'm gonna go home and rewatch
You
Fight
hate
Club.
Star Wars, you hate Marvel.
I love Fight Club and I love John Green.
Your next Ask Me Anything will be Fight Club.
I've seen it twice.
How many times have you seen Jurassic Park?
The first one, like
Yeah.
500 probably. You can't tell. I've also read both the books. I'm so mad about that. I knew I would do poorly.
Yeah.
This is one of those things that I just enjoy, and
Yeah.
I don't like go on the Jurassic Park subreddit like I do for the other things I like.
Yeah.
But no, Fight Club's fucking awesome, by the way.
It is so good.
I don't understand how I went my whole life not knowing the twist of that movie.
My freshman year in college, when I was in film school, we had to recreate a movie scene, and we decided to do the scene where Edward Norton's character beats the shit out of himself in front of his boss. So I was playing the boss, and then one of the other students was playing Edward Norton's character, and we had to do a shot-for-shot remake thing. So that may be on YouTube, but I'm not sure if they took it down or not, because it's been over 10 years.
Yeah.
Well,
Damn.
around 10 years.
Yeah, you get to like pick a film from any movie.
Yeah. But we were like, that would be easy enough.
Yeah.
We can just go into a classroom that's not being used. One of the other students had like the broken glass shards for when they went through the table, and we just kind of went from there. So
Sick.
yeah.
I might go home and watch Fight Club actually again tonight. It's so good.
But what were we talking about? Okay, so the first rank kind of let you down a little bit.
Oh yeah, back on topic. Sorry.
And then yeah, the Mario Party League was
Yeah, like I had high expectations for MPL and it still exceeded
yeah.
them.
I kind of felt that way, but maybe that's because I was on the inside of Ask Me Anything, where you and Matthew had no idea what to expect. I at least had
Yeah.
a general idea of what I was going with. In my mind, I was making myself laugh.
Yeah.
But the ones I think we need to go back on the drawing board is, and it's probably clear since we haven't posted a video like that in months now, is the backseat gaming stuff.
And we've talked about that.
Yeah.
I think that works if we don't start with me doing a shooter.
Yeah. I was going to say, in concept, that's a great idea until it's like, oh, this is clearly not this person's. Like, if I play Kingdom Hearts, I think I would do okay just because I'm an average video game fan.
Yeah. I'm definitely more of like a casual, like cozy gamer.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm okay with admitting that. And if people have a problem with it, find another YouTube channel to watch. Or just don't watch this podcast. I don't know what to tell you. But, yeah. It just...
other videos, the toughest ones for me have been the presidential vote ones.
Oh, yeah.
Because that has just been me. All the other ones, you guys have been in the room.
You've had a supporting cast.
But we kind of work off each other, even if it's not your Ask Me Anythings. I kind of get a gauge because...
Yeah, you've got other people like helping with cameras and setting stuff up.
Well, but I can kind of hear how it's going based on if Matthew's
wheezing behind the camera.
Wheezing behind the camera or hearing the chatter. That, it's just like, I don't know how this is going. And then having to play two different characters, so I'm acting with no one there, and then I have to...
Well, Tegan was there.
I kind of have to time out Tegan stuff, so it's works
I
somewhat.
really like the last one. I didn't expect you to like do the shot where you guys were just sitting next to each other.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh shit.
But you saw quickly, I was like, yeah, we're just going camera to camera now because my plan was to have that the whole time, but
Yeah.
I was like, I'm not timing myself out. Just
The whole time. That's fair.
yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe down the line when we get to be better filmmakers.
Yeah.
But
When you have more people helping you.
yeah.
So.
Which I don't mind those because those aren't the toughest videos. It was quick turnaround stuff. But yeah, if we start doing shorter form videos, and I'll just use higher budget where there's actual acting going on, then yeah, it won't always just be me. But
Yeah, I like the voting
yeah,
series. I think that's been a fun little, just
nice little 2-minute
nice little
video.
detour of like our normal content.
But that's also the thing. I'm like, did I say enough here? I don't want to just upload a 30-second video. But yeah, all of them have turned out good. So
Watch record, but
yeah. Let's see what else.
we have not talked about Mr.
Oh,
Beast.
yes.
We keep saying we're going to talk about Mr. Beast.
The
and we
moment
haven't.
you've all been waiting for, Jaylene cut.
All right, we'll see you guys next time.
So, what?
Mr. Jimmy Beast.
Yes, James Beast.
I don't know like the full story.
Okay.
So from where I'm just
Casual.
We talked about Lunchly.
Yep.
If you haven't heard us talk about Lunchly, we talked about it a few podcasts ago.
Yep.
Or just Google it. Or how have you not heard about Lunchly? Unless you're Matthew Boff and doesn't keep up with pop culture. Thank you for the slobber on my hand, by the way.
He tries to blame us when it's like.
Yeah, he's like, why didn't you tell me? It's like, I didn't think I needed to text you about Lunchly.
Yeah.
I didn't think that was important. So Lunchly came out.
Yep.
And then they started getting mold. A lot of people reported mold in Lunchly, which I texted you about that, and then the next day I saw that
Rosina.
Rosina is her name?
Yeah.
Oh,
Rosanna, I think.
yeah. Nerdy Nummies, which I used to watch her videos, by the way.
See, I never really watched her videos, but I knew of her.
I would watch her videos, and she was one of my favorite people on YouTubers React, if you remember YouTubers React.
If Plaid Couch ever does anything and she's our op, we're in trouble.
We'd be nice to her.
She's been...
Well, I think, like, she went to school for, like, journalism.
Oh.
So, like, yeah, she's good at, like, looking shit up and getting dirt on people. So, anyway, Lunchly's getting mold. Rosina, sorry, we don't know how to say her name, made a video about it.
Yep.
Where she opened one up and it had mold.
And essentially it's getting mold because the packages aren't sealed properly.
Well, that and they're using real cheese, too.
But, yes, but since it's not sealed some of the packages aren't sealed properly, letting in that air.
Yeah. But if they use fake cheese, it probably wouldn't have as much mold, even if that was
it would take longer.
Yeah. Like, I've seen packages where it's just green.
Yes.
It's disgusting. So that happened, and then Logan Paul must have spoke out.
They had a podcast where they were joking about the moldy cheese and all that.
They were joking about it?
Him and KSI were like, oh,
No big deal.
I like my cheese moldy, bro, and they were laughing about it.
Because then there were also, like, rumors that there was an FDA recall, but those weren't true. They came out to be not true, right?
Yeah, as far as I'm aware, they are untrue.
Yeah.
Same with it, like, being discontinued.
Yeah.
That seems to be disproven as well.
Because everybody's like, oh, they have to be discontinued. I can't find them. It's like, because a lot of people want them so they can. I've seen so many Lunchly review videos.
Yep.
It's insane. So it's like, yeah, it's going to be hard to find.
But it's also a new product, so it's hard to gauge how well a new product will do. So sometimes they have a trial run, and then they go from there.
But, so then that happened.
Yep.
Was that the same podcast that he called her a clout-chasing...
Goblin.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's like, yeah, okay. Because I think he also made a comment about, like, that's all she does is expose YouTubers. It's like, no, she just exposes Mr. Beast because if they had, like, history.
Yeah.
Like, he did something, I don't know, they did a video together.
A hide-and-seek video.
He edited something to make her look bad or something.
Yeah,
I don't know the whole.
it was
drama.
supposedly edited out of order, so she was in a different
Yeah.
place at the end, and then they put
I
other.
don't know.
Which is kind of a petty thing, but then
Yeah.
it's also like Mr. Beast for the longest time is one of those YouTubers who prided themselves
sorry.
on being like authentic and making real videos.
Sorry. Quick pause for Gizmo.
Yep. Oh,
Okay.
Jaylene, pet him.
Sorry.
Now you know
I'm
what I
not
go
letting
through.
you back through. You can go around. Oh yeah. I don't care. You know what? There's history. There's backstory.
Yep.
I don't care who was right, who was wrong, but she has not let it go.
No.
She's a petty bitch, and honestly, good for her.
Yep.
I would be the same situation.
You know what? She's sticking to her guns, and it's at first it's kind of like all right, but now it's like all right, yeah.
And also, I'm a little biased because again, I did used to watch Nerdy Nummies. I never gave a shit about Mr. Beast. Like something about him, I was just like, I don't care. But he also made content that wasn't aimed towards me.
Yeah.
Like I'm not supposed to be a Mr. Beast viewer.
I would watch Mr. Beast every now and again. I wasn't subbed or anything, but it was one of those where.
Sure. I'm kidding.
But it's like, oh, let's see, because he was the biggest YouTuber.
Yeah.
So it's like, let's just kind of see. But yeah, now since to kind of get into the Mr. Beast stuff, a few months ago, one of the other members of Mr. Beast had some allegations come out.
Very bad
yes.
allegations.
I kind of don't want to talk
You
about
can look it up if you're
Yeah.
that curious, but it's bad stuff.
and it was all of the, we didn't know any of
Yeah.
this was going on. And then people were like, well, in these old videos, it's like very clear. Recently, company, like, I don't know if it was Discord or some kind of chat logs were leaked where Mr. Beast and that employee were talking.
And these were work chats.
Yes.
Like because we have like group chats with just like us and our friends, and then we have Plaid couch chats.
Yes.
And we are not even a business technically yet.
Yeah.
So like these were work chats.
Yes.
Go on. I'll let you finish.
And it was like implied that images and videos were being talked about where and like animes where it's like clearly about a underage person, and they're like, ooh, making disgusting comments.
Things you shouldn't say about underage people when you're an adult,
Yep.
especially in a work group chat.
But recently, the Mr. Beast Twitter account come here, bud. Recently, the Mr. Beast Twitter account uploaded something saying, after however many months of that investigation, here were the findings. They've, 30 some employees were interviewed. This was discussed. The total amount of documents that they showed were 2 pages. And that they were saying that was the entire investigation.
Yeah. Makes sense, right?
Working in HR,
Good boy. Good boy. He finally got brave enough to do that on his own.
working in HR, whenever I talk to anyone about something going on, it's usually at least a page per interview.
And I'm assuming it's not as serious as like the Mr. Beast
No.
situation.
No, it's not. It's usually just, this thing was said, all right, or this thing's going on. But yeah, that whole thing, it was like, oh yeah, there's no like proof of this thing. And then Mr. Beast has also hired someone with a background, and they were like, oh, we didn't know beforehand that they had this. It's like, so you didn't do background check.
Yeah.
If Plaid Couch ever becomes a business and we're not doing background checks on people, that's just a disaster waiting to happen. It's
especially when you're as big as Mr. Beast.
Yes.
Like, come on.
And you know what? people can change, but there's some stuff where if you see that on a background,
especially when you're working in like content creation,
exactly,
and Mr. Beast
aimed
is
at kids.
aimed at kids. Like,
yes,
I mean, come on.
Basically, the 2 pages were saying nothing was found, which is complete and utter bullshit because
Right.
and people who used to work at Mr. Beast were like, "Oh yeah, I was related, or that's my brother-in-law who was hired, who had the background." Mr. Beast knew, and he said that before the investigation was even done and over with, which I know isn't a fun thing to admit, but it's like,
Yeah.
it's out there, and then like those work chats and everything like that. It amazes me how people think work chats are private.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
It's like, yeah, if you are on the company's Wi-Fi, they can
see everything you do.
Yep. And it's like, I just don't understand.
I've got a similar experience with that because we share the Plaid Couch Gmail, and I was petrified the one time because I thought I had my like Gmail open, my Google browser. So I was Googling shit at home on a Sunday, and I realized that I was on the Plaid Couch account, and I was like, I hope Tegan doesn't see that I just looked up Sims 4 cheats on the company Gmail. I got so embarrassed, and it wasn't even anything bad. And I hurried up and I deleted our browsing history because I didn't want you to get a text from you being like, were you looking up Sims 4 cheats? But that's why I'm so nervous about like, and I don't even do anything that crazy on the internet, but it's like I'm always so nervous that I'm gonna like be logged into the Plaid Couch account and then start browsing on YouTube because I see you listen to a lot of lo-fi beats on the Plaid Couch channel. If you go through our watch history,
I may hover over them because maybe like 2 or 3.
that's cool though.
But I also use that if I'm looking for lo-fi stuff for Reddit.
This was like when I first started uploading stuff. I saw it in our history. I'm like, oh, Tegan's listening to some lo-fi beats to study to. Hell yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes I'll go through that. Sometimes,
Yeah.
because I don't want to confuse myself. I have 2 different web browsers. One's strictly Plaid Couch. One's mine.
Yeah.
So
I do that too, and I'll have one on one monitor and
Yep.
one on the other. Yeah. And now I have them color coded.
Yeah.
So it's like if I see any hint of green, I know that it's not mine, and do not look up Sims 4 cheats. So I don't have the cheats memorized.
Now I'm gonna type in Sims 4 cheats.
You're gonna make me nervous.
I'm just gonna be like, Jaylene, what's this?
I'll be like, oh no. I'm also, every time I post something on like the Plaid Couch Instagram too,
Yeah.
I'm always like paranoid that I'm gonna accidentally post it to mine, or vice versa. So just things like that. And again, it wouldn't be a big deal because it's not like I'm posting, weird stuff on my personal Instagram. But it's like I posted a picture of my Halloween costume on my Instagram.
Yeah.
I don't want that on the Plaid Couch Instagram. Just a picture of me dressed as Kurt Cobain.
I thought that was Kurt Cobain. Sounded just like him.
Oh yeah, we brought him back from the dead for that one podcast. Matthew was the only one in the last episode who was
Yeah.
just dressed as a jester. We should make Matthew do a podcast episode by himself since he bailed on us
Yep.
today.
I,
Honestly, after episode 7 or 17 of the podcast, give Burguy his own fucking podcast. I think he could just sit and like entertain himself for an hour.
what that podcast needs to be is him and I sitting down. I don't say a word.
You just sit there and nod your head.
he's just telling me things.
Yeah, get him like 2 energy drinks beforehand because oh my god, it was interesting.
Yeah, I mean we have some other podcast ideas and all that. But back to the Mr. Beast stuff.
Oh yeah, sorry, we are getting more sidetracked than usual.
Essentially, the Lunchley stuff has just been a lot of rumors.
Besides the mold has been
The
real.
mold is very real, which I do think the FDA will take a more serious look at, because they do not play around with that shit. And I know they were saying like, oh, the FDA goes through all this stuff, so it's not just here. It may be getting damaged on the shipping or
Yeah.
when it's received and stored, which is very possible. But it is one of those things where the FDA does not give a shit.
Yeah.
If it's
Which, as they should, to be fair, like,
working in a place that makes food before, you need to make sure that shit is spick and span.
yeah. Well, like, I used to work in pharmacy, and,
Yeah.
like, we didn't manufacture drugs, but it's like, you know, like, if you drop a pill on the floor, like, you can't just throw it
Yeah.
away. Like, there's procedures in place.
Yep.
So, it's just,
Yeah, like
stuff like that you got to take seriously.
yeah, we would clean machines, and if there was a hint of the previous food being made, I don't clean it all again. So they take that stuff very, very seriously. So I'm sure we'll hear more about that
Yeah.
in the next few months. It's crazy this has gone on for about 2 months now.
Well, like, you just can't catch a break, which if you're that awful, like, you
Yeah.
don't deserve one. And again, there's all that stuff with Beast Games.
Yep.
Like, how much hasn't been said yet.
Yep.
I'm waiting for that to blow up.
Yeah, there's still just so much going on, and I don't want this to really be a drama podcast. Maybe in the future you and I just have
Yeah.
a drama podcast.
It's like any internet drama.
But there's just so much we're learning. Some of it's very true, some of it's kind of true, and then some of it's fabricated. It's hard to really know right now, especially because Mr. Beast and that company is trying to change the narrative and pretend.
That's the part I can't stand.
Ye-
It's like, maybe just, like, take the back seat.
Yeah.
Because it's what you're doing, your course correcting is not working.
Yeah, exactly.
That's shooting you in the head, too. I don't know. This might, maybe I'm taking a stand too early. I don't think Mr. Beast needs to be making any kind of kids content anymore.
Yeah, I well, because apparently, Rosanna and former Mr. Beast employee, they made a video going through those chat logs, and they sent that off to the FBI.
Yeah.
So that's a whole nother can of
'Cause
worms.
I saw that on Reddit where it's like Rosanna like reported Mr. Beast the FBI, and I was gonna send that to you, but I'm like, no shot, that's true. And then I was like, oh my god, it's true.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Um.
but
Yeah.
I like her, honestly. Like, I've always liked Rosanna.
Yeah.
And if we ever meet her, we just be on our best behavior.
Keep Matthew away.
Yeah.
We do not need her as an enemy.
Yeah. Ooh.
But yeah, it's just a lot of crazy stuff going on. I know a lot of our viewers aren't big into YouTube stuff
What?
going on.
My mom and Matthew?
It's
I wonder, how does Matthew, like, go about his day and not...
he's 80.
I will say, I see some of the stuff. This is gonna be mean, Matthew. You're my bestie. You know that. Some of the shit he shares on Facebook, it's like, how old are you actually? It will be
Summer breeze feels so good at 6 p.m. right before bed.
There was this one time. I'm so sorry, Matthew. I'm doxing Matthew. He even posted this thing. This was like a year or two ago. And it was this thing about, like, malls in the good old days or whatever. He goes, the mall's just not like it used to, or some shit like that. And I had to scroll up and be like, that can't be Matthew Boff.
That can't be the Matthew Boff I know.
And it's like, oh, sure enough. So it's like, that's what he's seeing on social media. Or like the one time he sent us a meme, I don't even remember what it was, but I just text back boomer meme.
Well, I just imagine Matthew with the mall comment. He was in the mall earlier that day, walking around. It's like,
It's just not what it used to be.
back in my day.
Yeah.
He's sitting on a bench, just like watching the 5 people in there walking around. He's like, this place used to be booming.
He's such an old soul. Goddamn. I mean, we've said that on the podcast before, because
Yeah.
like some people will joke like, "Oh, I was born in the wrong
Yeah.
generation." He was.
Yeah.
Send him back a few decades. He would thrive like in the
He needs to drink a malt shake.
the OG Coke where they had to stir it. If he accidentally got transferred in time, like transported back in the 50s, he would be fine.
Yeah.
I'm sure. Like he would just waltz into a diner and like just start making friends with everybody.
Yep.
Like, oh my god. So that makes sense.
Yeah.
But it's like when the Liam Payne One Direction stuff happened, he had no idea who Liam Payne was. And it's like, and I get if you didn't know that before, but this was like 2 or 3 days after it happened.
Mm-hmm.
How do you not recognize the name after he was on the news all week?
Yeah.
I don't know.
We got to figure out
But
how to get Matthew.
But it's our fault.
Yeah. I just open up Twitter and it's like all this stuff. It's like, oh,
Yeah.
let me look into this.
Or Reddit, yeah.
Or YouTube even, where it's like this drama because the algorithm knows me.
Yeah. except for I don't know, the one time he was, what was he like showing us on Discord, like, look at my Halloween lights, and he was playing Yu-Gi-Oh on his TV. So it's like, well, if he's just playing Yu-Gi-Oh in his spare time, you don't have time to get on Reddit. Oh, we love you, Matthew. Please don't watch this podcast.
Oh man.
He's an old soul who loves Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yeah, we love him for it.
It wouldn't be the same without him.
No.
My mom was telling me the one time, she goes, you need Matthew on the show. And I get that.
I think we all complement each other very well.
But
And I think the podcast and Mario Party League show that. We all just have great dynamics. I love the dynamics you all bring to the Ask Me Anythings as well.
they're all so different.
It's so funny. But yeah, it's. I'm glad all this stuff is happening now. So when Plaid Couch does become a business, we're like, let's not make these same boneheaded mistakes.
We'll learn from Mr. Beast.
Yeah.
I don't think we would have done any of that Mr.
No.
Beast stuff to begin with, to be clear.
No, but now I feel like first day of orientation, we have to be like, all right, don't be sending this stuff to.
I feel like we would have been able to figure that out anyway. Like, that isn't that why you work in HR, is just to get experience for Plaid Couch?
Well, yeah.
That's why I work at a bank, so I can do payroll. So that's why Matthew does electrical something. That way if the lights go out, he can fix it. And Burgeye isn't going to work anyway, so just let him carry on. Who gives a fuck what he does?
If we get an actual Plaid Couch Studios, he'll just be sitting in the lobby the whole time on his phone watching TikTok. Or
We probably won't even have to pay him, honestly. Or like maybe like once a month give him like a McDonald's gift card.
Yeah.
So, but I think he's just here for the goofs and gaffs.
Yep. He enjoys himself. And you know what? I know it's a long time until Plaid Couch becomes an actual business with
If ever.
You know what? The TikToks are booming, so.
What, we're not even, at the time of recording, we're not even at 1,000 views on TikTok. Well, collectively we are.
Yeah. But I mean.
We'll get there.
Yeah, exactly.
If you keep bitching about Lord of the Rings, that really helped us.
That will be one podcast. Just me bitching about a different movie. Someone's like, compare these two movies. I can't even compare those.
We'll just like.
How can I compare trash with gold?
Scott Pilgrim vs. the World versus Fight Club. Go.
They are both really good movies for different reasons.
One of them's a lot better.
Yeah.
Scott Pilgrim.
I'm more of a Fight Club.
No, I like Fight Club more, probably.
It's like, it's Edgar Wright. I love
I've
a lot
loved-
of his movies.
Well, I've only seen 3 of his movies, but the 3 he's made that I've watched are 3 of my favorites.
Yeah, he does a very good job.
And the thing I like about him, because the only 3 Edgar Wright movies I've seen have been Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, Baby Driver, and Shaun of the Dead. Those don't feel like they're made by the same guy.
Exactly. He's a very diverse director, which I love.
Because when I first saw Baby Driver, I would have never, maybe like the music aspect,
so good,
like put it in the same realm as Scott Pilgrim, but it's like those feel like completely different movies.
Yeah, but to me, he's one of those people that kind of has that inception of the movie as a whole from beginning to end, instead of this is my idea for the script, this is my idea for the scenes. He's James Gunn is kind of in that aspect as well with his soundtrack work and all that. But a lot of his stuff is very similar.
Yeah.
Like James Gunn Scooby-Doo is very similar to, which I think he just wrote that.
I feel weird comparing those two because I get what you're saying, but it's like I don't see Edgar Wright as like a goofy director, where I very much see James Gunn.
It's apples and oranges.
Yeah, whereas like I think Edgar Wright can get away with like being a little quirky, and not. I don't mean that like I'm so quirky. Like he can actually be quirky and make
natural humor,
make like a natural like funny comedy. Whereas like James Gunn gets a little goofy, which works. Like in the case of Guardians, like you needed a little goofiness. You can't take that movie seriously. You can take Baby Driver 100% seriously.
Yeah, and I think that's what works so well for his movies. Obviously, movies have genres like action, comedy, and all that, but he sprinkles a lot of those elements and not just trying to focus on it being an action movie or a comedy movie, which is great because comedy is very hard to write.
Yeah.
But to have almost that natural feel of everyday comedy of things going on.
I hate watching a bad comedy film. Or like mid-comedy is way worse. Like fucking Grown Ups, just shoot me, please. One
movie I know isn't like great, but I enjoy the Hangover movies.
That's also like the generation we grew up in too.
But it's like I see the flaws in some of those jokes and moments there. But like even the second and third ones, I still those are good laundry movies for me to watch. But yeah, a bad comedy movie is probably the most painful type of movie to watch.
Yeah.
It's like bad horror is horror's another genre that's very hard to write for because it's like how can you write something scary just based off this, indicating that either it's a jump scare or something like that, and trying to gauge how it will feel for the audience. But taking my knowledge from quotes, big quotes around knowledge from film school, one thing I've been trying to do a lot lately is just work on short film scripts and different ideas. Just we may never even film them. Some may never even be shared, but just kind of working on those. And one of the biggest things I took from hearing people talk about screenwriting and all that is if you want to be better at screenwriting, don't start with your own ideas. It's great that you have your own ideas, but take a book or a comic or something else and make that into a movie script or a TV script. What would you change from those? Because books, 300 pages roughly, you have to cut that down to an hour and a half movie. What are you cutting? And it makes you think about that process because people love, I have this 400-page movie script. No one's going to want to buy a 400-page movie script. You have to learn how to invoke that same stuff within the concept of a movie script because it is very different writing than a book. Because a book, you can spend 5 pages talking about why something's so scary. Or do what, who made Cthulhu and all that stuff.
I hope you're not expecting me to answer that.
But they would just be like, this monster is so scary, it's hard to... You can't even fathom what it looks like.
Just fucking guess.
There's like tentacles.
That made me think of... this is really embarrassing, so sorry. But when I had to be in like 7th or 8th grade when I got really into Green Day. And my first Green Day album that I had and I like fell in love with American Idiot. And like that, like, going into it that it's like a rock opera.
Yeah.
And then like I learned shortly after that they actually adapted it into a musical.
Yeah.
And I became obsessed with rock operas after that and like the idea of it. So then when I got 21st Century Breakdown on CD, I like would religiously like listen to it and pay attention to the lyrics, and I wrote out a script in Microsoft Word of like a movie
Yeah.
of 21st Century Breakdown. It probably wasn't good, but
But yeah,
I was like, oh, I can turn this into Billy Joe Armstrong.
yeah.
He'll use it.
For people looking to get better at screenwriting, those are the best avenues because it's stuff already there.
What's that say about us, by the way, that you had to go to film school on that, and my little junior high brain just did it on its own?
Well, I heard that from
I'm kidding. I'm
other
just giving
people
you
as
shit.
well, but no,
Yeah.
film school is very much like, oh yeah, I'll be able to stay in Ohio and do all this cool stuff because I mainly wanted to be a screenwriter. That's the stuff I really enjoyed, but then very quickly in the freshman year, it's like, oh no, I would still have to move to California. Fuck that. I'll just start a YouTube channel 10 years from now.
Yeah. It's actually crazy, like, how long we talked about this before actually starting it. So it was all talk for years.
Yeah.
I'm glad we waited till when we did.
Yeah.
The timing was just right.
Yeah.
Which I know we talked about this before.
we
but
talked about that the first episode of the podcast, I think. But yeah,
it is truly wild.
for I want to say 5 of those years, it was just the timeline or our free times didn't work out.
Yeah.
With all of our different jobs and different things we had going on in our personal lives.
I think we wanted to do too much too.
Yeah.
Like we just started out very small and very like DIY.
Yep.
But hey, it's working.
Yeah,
21 subscribers.
Hopefully more.
How many more will we get after you're elected president?
Everyone once I'm elected president, every American has to subscribe to Plaid Couch.
That's
or
like
else
at least 1,000 people, right?
I've lost count.
Too many.
I counted 12 and then I was like, did I already count you?
Yeah.
Shit, I got to start over.
A hard job to do.
But on that note, this has actually been a bit of a long podcast.
Yeah, we couldn't shut the fuck up. Except for we can't talk about pop culture when Matthew's here, and we can't get any words in if Ferguy's here. So this actually worked out.
You know what? Next podcast can just be those two.
I'm not editing that. They could do that. You have to edit it. I'm not doing it.
I'll just be behind the camera like, come on, we got to wrap it up. We got to wrap it up. But thank you all for watching. Be sure to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. If you're listening on Spotify, rate this podcast. We appreciate it. Jaylene may have a poll or a question.
Yeah, if so, it'll be right underneath this if you're on Spotify, and you can answer the poll.
All right. Bye, everybody.
And if you didn't vote today, don't bitch about the president. Bye.